Hello! Hello! Welcome to Plum Fusion Block number 7. Okay, so just to let you know, we are moving away this a month from the 4.5 by 4.5 by 4.5 squares in a 9 patch. So we are going to be working in some different number configurations. Don't freak out. We're still doing a lot of the same things that we're used to doing. Okay? The first part of your instructions is we're doing 2 sets of flying geese. We are making flying geese with fabric 5 and number 1, and flying geese with fabric number 8 and fabric number 2. Let's review our flying geese. We have a 5.5 by 5.5 inch square. We have 3 1/8 inch squares. We mark the center, sew on either side. We'll cut them in half. On that half, we will press the triangles down, put our other square on there, mark the middle, sew on either side, and when we cut that in half, we will get our oversized goose. Now we're going to trim this to 2.5 by 4.5. You can use your regular ruler. I like to start with the point towards me, put the 45-degree line that goes right into the corner, and line up this point on 2.25 by 2.25, trim, and then you're going to turn that over, line that up on the 4.5 and 2.5 and trim. Or you can use your amazing square on square 8-inch trim tool. Again, I'd like to point the goose towards me, put the center on the point, line up your diagonals, trim, turn your unit over. Now you want that in the middle with your 1/4 inch. You want to line up the side with the 4.5, and then you trim. So you are going to make 8 flying geese, 4 of them here, 4 of them here. Step number 1, yay! Now we are going to make some half square triangles. We have 2 pieces of fabric. We lay them on top of each other. You're going to mark your middle, sew on either side, cut them apart, and then you're going to trim them to 2.5 by 2.5. You are going to be making 8 of these. Okay, 2.5 by 2.5 half square triangles. And then we are going to put together our outer border. Okay, we're going to take our flying goose, goose, and you're going to put 2 half square triangles on either side. There's a W shape to the colors. You're going to make 4 of these. On 2 of these, you are going to find your 2.5 inch, these are not 2.5, this is a 2.5 inch color 1, and put them on either side. So you're going to have 1, 2 of these, and then you're going to have 2 of these. Okay, so this is the outside of your block. We'll put those on the side for now, and we'll construct the inside. Okay, we are going to do some flip and sew rectangles. Flip and sew rectangles start with a 2.5 by 4.5, and you're going to take a 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch square. You are going to sew on the diagonal, and you're going to trim this off here, okay, 1/4 inch, and then you're going to flip that out. You are going to be making 4 of these. 2 of them, let me fold this back so you can see. There we go. 2 of them will be with fabric 7, 2 of them will be with fabric 8. And what you're going to do with these, oh, by the way, they all have to be the same angle. Okay, so they have to be the same side and same angle. So this is an opposite angle. This is an opposite side. Yeah, they have to be 4 same side, same angle, following the diagram on your pattern. Okay, so you are going to take these and you are going to sew them to the flying geese. So you will have 2 of these with fabric number 8, and then you will have 2 of these with fabric number 7. Fabric 8, fabric 8, fabric 7, fabric 7. This is going to be the center of your square, and you are going to make a pinwheel with your 4 different fabrics. Or, I'm sorry, 2 different fabrics. So these are going to be opposite of that. Now this makes a 8.5 by 8.5 inch center. Now we're going to add our 2 sides that we had sewn together earlier. And then we are going to add our top and our bottom. Okay, oops, this way. Now, when I talked in class, in my in-house, I talked about how sometimes you have an 8.5 inch block and you're looking at making a quilt bigger. This is a great way to add a frame to your quilt block. If you have an 8.5 and 8.5 and want to make a large pillow, 12.5 by 12.5 inch pillow, you know, this is a way to do it by adding a frame. And then are we ready to get our minds blown? Mind blowing, the scared people, don't be scared. And we're going to do this in the next block too. One of the things that you can do is make choices about your quilt. You don't always have to follow the pattern. And one of the things we talked about is feel more than welcome to experiment with your frame. Put it up on your board when it's in pieces and say, huh, that's interesting. I've changed the look of my block by flipping the frame pieces. Or even before we get to the frame point, we can do something like this, where we change the shape of the border. You should have seen Betsy's eyes just go, whoa, whoa, unexpected. You can experiment. As long as you keep the configuration and the size of the block, you can actually change these blocks and make something different and interesting for your quilt. Not everybody has to have the same quilt. I always make my sample exactly as the pattern shows, but like I've shown you here, you too can make your own choices about what you like and how to change something like this. So I'm going to set this up back to normal, the way the pattern is written, just for fun. So you can see how the pattern designer has set it up, but you can be your own pattern designer. Think about it. Okay, we're going to go on to our next block, block number 8. We'll be right back.